You're standing in the checkout line at Home Depot, staring at the guy ahead of you dropping $800 on drywall tape, pipe fittings, and what looks like industrial-grade mold killer. His hands are cracked, his shirt stained, and he's got that thousand-yard stare of someone who just spent his Saturday fixing a leak he didn't know existed. And you think, that's gonna be me next year, because you just closed on your first house 3 months ago, and the seller swore it was move-in ready. Spoiler, they lied. Americans dropped over $500 billion last year on home repairs and renovations, more than the entire economy of Sweden. Yet when you're sitting at the closing table, signing your name 47 times like you're selling your soul, nobody mentions this number. They talk about your mortgage payment, they explain interest rates, they itemize closing costs. But the financial avalanche that starts the second you get the keys? Crickets. And that silence is expensive. Let's say you bought a $350,000 house. Your mortgage is $2,100 a month. You ran the numbers, you've got a buffer, you're good. Congrats, you're a homeowner. Then 6 weeks later, the AC dies during a 102-degree heat wave. That's $7,000. 3 months after that, you spot a water stain spreading across your ceiling like a Rorschach test of doom. A roof leak, another $4,500. By November, your water heater sounds like a dying T-Rex and you're out another $1,800. 8 months in and you've already blown $13,300 on emergencies you never saw coming. Your emergency fund? Gone. Your credit card? Maxed. And suddenly you understand why your neighbor hasn't smiled since 2019. This isn't bad luck, it's baseline homeownership. According to Bankrate's 2025 data, the average single-family homeowner spends $21,400 per year on hidden costs. That's $1,783 on top of your mortgage, insurance, property taxes, and HOA fees. These aren't optional upgrades or lifestyle choices. These are mandatory payments for the privilege of owning a structure that's actively trying to fall apart. The real estate machine sold you a fairy tale that your mortgage payment is the cost of ownership, but your mortgage is just the entry fee to a very expensive casino where the house always wins, and the house is your house. Financial gurus love quoting the 1% rule. Set aside 1% of your home's value each year for maintenance. For a $350K home, that's $3,500. Sounds manageable, right? Except that rule was invented in the 1980s when labor cost $15 an hour and lumber wasn't rationed like caviar. In 2025, that rule is dangerously outdated. A recent Angie's List survey found actual spending averages 2 to 3% annually. So that same $350K house, you're really looking at $7,000 to $10,500 per year just to keep it from crumbling. And that's assuming nothing major breaks. One homeowner budgeted $4,800 based on the 1% myth. Reality? He spent $15,000 every single year. The 1% rule isn't advice, it's a comforting lie designed to keep you signing mortgage documents. But wait, it gets worse. That number doesn't even include unexpected repairs. Nearly half of all homeowners faced over $5,000 in surprise fixes last year. Foundation issues? $30,000. Full HVAC replacement? Up to $15,000. Roof redo? $8,400 on average. And if you live in a city with a contractor shortage, good luck getting those prices. NerdWallet found 44% of homeowners have their first major repair within the first year, and 12% got hit in the first month. You haven't even hung your pictures, and your house is already demanding tribute. The psychological toll is real. Over 60% of homeowners say they're more stressed about covering maintenance costs now than they were just 6 months ago. These aren't reckless spenders. They're people who saved for years, got pre-approved, bought within budget, and still got blindsided. Because houses aren't like cars. You can't drive them into the ground and sell for scrap. Every system, roof, HVAC, plumbing, foundation, has a countdown clock. And when those clocks sync up, you're staring down 5-figure bills with no warning. And the costs are accelerating. From Q1 2024 to Q1 2025, 7 major home repair categories saw double-digit price jumps. Supply chains are still shaky. Extreme weather is wrecking roofs and basements faster than ever. Labor shortages mean contractors charge premium rates. Even borrowing against your equity got pricier thanks to rising interest rates. It's a perfect storm, and your house is ground zero. Now let's talk about the geographic lottery, because where you buy a house can triple your hidden costs overnight. That same $350,000 home in West Virginia might cost you $12,600 a year to maintain. In Hawaii, over $34,500. New York City, $24,400. San Francisco, $22,800. These aren't outliers, they're the new normal in major metros. And it's not just about climate or labor, it's about insurance, property taxes, and local regulations that quietly inflate your bills every single year. Take property taxes. The average US homeowner now pays around $3,500 annually, up 4.2% from last year alone. But here's the kicker. Your tax bill rises with your home's assessed value, even if you never sell. So as housing prices climb, thanks to inflation, your tax burden climbs too, even though your income hasn't moved. You didn't cash out, you didn't profit, but the government says your house is worth more, so now you owe them more, forever. And the disparity is wild. A $400,000 home in New Jersey costs nearly $9,000 a year in property taxes. In Florida, just $3,300. That's a $470 monthly difference for the exact same asset. Lenders bake these costs into affordability calculations, which means your pre-approval in a low-tax state could shrink by 15 to 20% if you move to a high-tax one. You're not just buying a house, you're buying into a tax jurisdiction that can silently gut your budget. Then there's HOA fees, the silent budget killer lurking behind community amenities. About 44% of homes sold in 2025 were in HOAs, up from just 22% in 2010. Median monthly fees have jumped from $18 in 2019 to $135 today, a 25% increase in 6 years. But averages hide the pain. In disaster-prone areas like Tampa or Orlando, fees surged over 17% in a single year because master insurance policies doubled or tripled overnight. And those increases, they're considered normal. HOAs face a brutal choice: raise fees steadily to keep up with inflation and maintenance, or defer repairs until everything collapses and then hit you with a special assessment. These are one-time charges, often $10,000 to $50,000, dropped in your lap with 30 days to pay. No vote, no appeal, just pay or lose your home. Think you own your condo? Try skipping that assessment and see who really holds the deed. Let's stack this all together. Imagine a mid-range condo in Atlanta. Mortgage $2,200, property taxes $400, HOA $350, insurance $150. That's $3,100 a month before utilities, parking, or that community enhancement fee they just invented. And every number except your mortgage is rising faster than your paycheck. In parts of South Florida, HOA fees now hit $1,000 to $2,000 per month. Meanwhile, a comparable luxury rental goes for $1,600. Renting isn't just simpler, it's 40 to 50% cheaper. The math has flipped. Ownership used to be the smart long-term play. Now in many markets, it's the expensive emotional choice. Cash buyers dominate condo sales because financed buyers can't make the numbers work. Out of 176 condo closings in Indian River County last quarter, 133 were all cash. Why? Because only people with liquid capital can absorb these layered costs without drowning. Everyone else is one roof leak away from financial panic. And don't fall for the budgeting rules you've heard. Set aside 1 to 4% of your home's value for maintenance. Great if you live in a time machine. Real data shows most homeowners spend 2 to 3% minimum, and older homes can hit 8%. Buy a charming 1920s bungalow for $300,000? Congrats, you're on the hook for $24,000 a year in upkeep. That character comes with a price tag that makes new construction look like a steal. Here's the hard truth no one admits. Your house isn't an asset. It's a liability with occasional appreciation. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take it out. Right now, between repairs, taxes, insurance, and fees, your house is extracting wealth faster than it's building equity. A 2024 survey found 87% of homeowners needed professional help with a home issue last year. Over a third couldn't cover a $1,000 repair. 15% couldn't swing $500. This isn't irresponsibility, it's systemic underpricing of ownership. The stress is real. Nearly half of homeowners say mandatory repairs have increased their anxiety since early 2025. More than 60% worry constantly about covering costs. You're not failing, you're playing a game where the rules were hidden until you'd already signed. The system sold you the dream, white picket fence, generational wealth, stability. What they left out was the part where you become a full-time project manager for a money-incinerating machine that breaks on schedule. HVAC dies during a heat wave, water heater floods your basement on Thanksgiving, roof leaks during the one storm your insurance calls an act of God, and 44% of homeowners face their first surprise repair within the first year, 12% in the first month. You haven't even unpacked your coffee mugs and you're already writing checks you didn't plan for. Foundation repairs, $2,200 to $30,000. Roof replacement, $5,700 to $12,000. HVAC system, $7,000 to $15,000, plus ductwork, electrical upgrades, and efficiency retrofits. Plumbers charge $300 an hour on weekends. Roofers start at $150 for minor fixes but hit $6,000 plus for water damage. HVAC service calls cost $200 just to show up. These aren't luxuries, they're system failures governed by physics and time. The average household spends nearly $4,000 a year on unexpected repairs. If your home was built before 1960, triple that. You're not maintaining a home, you're funding its slow-motion decay. And then there's the HGTV effect, the cruelest illusion of all. You watch a couple buy a fixer-upper, rip out a kitchen in 30 minutes, and toast with champagne in a magazine-ready space. What they don't show? The $20,000 overrun because they found black mold, outdated wiring, and a plumbing system held together by hope. Year-over-year home renovation spending is projected to hit $526 billion by early 2026, not because people love spending, but because once you start, you can't stop. Replace the cabinets and the appliances look ancient. Replace the appliances and the floor looks terrible. Replace the floor and the paint feels dingy. It's a rabbit hole disguised as progress. And thanks to supply chain chaos, extreme weather, and labor shortages, 7 major repair categories saw double-digit jumps in just 1 year. You're paying more for everything while your raises barely keep up with grocery inflation. So what do you actually do with this? I'm not saying never buy a house. I'm saying stop treating ownership like a guaranteed path to wealth. It's a leveraged bet on appreciation while you pay rent to the bank, the government, the HOA, and the laws of entropy. If the market stalls or your neighborhood declines, you've spent years bleeding cash into a depreciating liability. Let's run the real numbers because this is where the fantasy cracks wide open. Imagine you buy a $400,000 house with 20% down, $80,000. You borrow $320,000 at a realistic 7% interest rate. Your principal and interest payment? About $2,130 a month. But that's just the start. Add property taxes, $400, insurance, $150, HOA fees, $350, and realistic maintenance, $700 based on 2.1% of home value. Your true monthly cost? $3,730. That's $44,760 a year just to keep the lights on and the roof from caving in. Now compare that to renting a similar place for $2,200 a month. The difference? $1,530 every single month. If you invested that gap into a low-cost index fund averaging 7% annual returns, you'd have over $1.7 million after 30 years. Meanwhile, your homeowner counterpart has a house worth maybe $850,000 if the market cooperates. After paying 6% in selling fees, they walk away with $799,000. You, the foolish renter, have $1.7 million in liquid, accessible wealth, and yet society still acts like you're throwing money away. The alternative isn't glamorous, but it's powerful. Rent your home. Invest the difference between ownership costs and rent into actual assets. Max out your Roth IRA, fund a taxable brokerage, build high-yield savings. When you rent, the roof leak is someone else's problem. The HVAC meltdown, not your invoice. The special assessment, their headache. You pay one predictable bill and walk away. Your money compounds instead of vanishing into contractor estimates and emergency plumbing calls. Homeownership isn't evil, it's just wildly overhyped as a wealth-building tool. In many markets today, it's a net wealth destroyer for the first decade. You're not building equity, you're subsidizing depreciation, bureaucracy, and entropy. The real security doesn't come from a deed, it comes from liquidity, optionality, and the ability to walk away when things go sideways. Renting gives you all three. Owning often locks you into a financial hostage situation disguised as stability. So how do you decide if buying makes sense for you? First, calculate your true monthly cost, not just the mortgage. Add property taxes, insurance, HOA fees, and maintenance. Use 2.5% of purchase price annually, not 1%. Then compare that total to rent for a comparable home. If owning costs more than 25% above rent, you're paying a premium for emotional satisfaction, not financial logic. Second, ask how long will I stay? If it's less than 7 to 10 years, you likely won't recoup closing costs and transaction fees. The average homeowner stays just 8 years, barely enough time to break even. Third, stress test your budget. Can you handle a $10,000 repair and a job loss and a tax hike, all while keeping your investments on track? If not, you're not ready. Ownership magnifies both upside and downside. Most people only plan for the former. And if you do buy, protect yourself. Negotiate a home warranty, but read the fine print. Most exclude pre-existing conditions. Get a thorough inspection, including sewer scope and foundation scan. Set up a separate home repair savings account and auto-transfer 0.25% of your home's value every month, $83 for a $400K house. Better yet, aim for 0.5%. This isn't optional, it's your new emergency fund dedicated solely to the house's inevitable breakdowns. Also, avoid older homes unless you've got deep pockets or contractor skills. That charm is code for outdated systems. A 1950s electrical panel can't handle modern loads. Galvanized pipes corrode from the inside. Knob and tube wiring is a fire hazard. Each character feature is a future 5-figure bill. Newer construction isn't perfect, but at least the roof, HVAC, and water heater are under warranty for the first few years. That breathing room matters. Finally, ditch the shame around renting. Financial independence isn't about owning property, it's about owning your time and choices. Some of the wealthiest people I know rent. Why? Because they'd rather deploy capital into assets that generate cash flow, not liabilities that demand it. Your home should serve your life, not dictate it. If ownership adds stress, limits mobility, or stalls your investing, it's failing its core purpose. The American dream got a costly upgrade, and no one sent you the invoice, but now you know. So before you fall in love with granite countertops or backyard patios, run the full math. Ask what you're really paying per month after taxes, insurance, HOA, and realistic maintenance. Compare it to rent. Be brutally honest about whether you're buying a home or buying into a story sold by banks, builders, and HGTV, because the house will take your money either way. The only question is whether you go in with your eyes open. If this helped you see homeownership for what it really is, a complex, expensive liability with occasional upside, hit like and subscribe. I break down the hidden math behind big money decisions every week. No hype, no fluff. Drop a comment. Are you team rent or team own right now? And why? I read every one.